I've had a nice day though. I had a video call with my mum and dad, my brother and sister. And I got to see my nephew on the video call as well. So that was nice.
Conference call, as it were.
Yeah. So that was good. That was cool.
Okay. Google has notified me that we are live, but I guess we'll just kick back here for a bit and give people.
Well, we are on. Okay, so I am muting that because I get feedback on that, and yeah, we are live. We are on YouTube. I can confirm that we are on YouTube because I'm watching us with like a 10-second delay, which is not jarring at all. It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. But I can have a look at chat.
It's like using the stereo mix to record, but even more confusing because there's a time delay.
Aye. So, yes, how's things, Ben?
It says we've got one viewer. I take it that's you.
That'll be me.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not too much to talk about at the moment, I guess. I have been quite enjoying the Games Workshop. Have been doing their previews via the magic of the internet. I don't know if you've been keeping abreast of it.
I have not been keeping on top of that. So hit me. Yeah. What have we got?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I tend to gloss over the 40k type stuff.
Okay.
But the big thing for Age of Sigmar that they've been teasing over the past few previews is there's a new faction called the Lumineth Realm Lords, which are in the same way that the Fire Slayers are the spiritual successor to the Troll Slayers from Warhammer Fantasy. The Lumineth Realm Lords are the spiritual successors to the High Elves.
Right. Are they now? This is something that they kind of touch upon with High Elves, but they didn't. They didn't really lean into it in the lore. Have they gone more along the lines of the elf supremacy sort of thing? I know the High Elves were quote unquote good guys, but they had a little. I'll say it. They felt a little fashy to me in some respects.
Yeah, I think they're a little. I mean, this is just an approximation that I've made based on what I've read, but so far they seem to be a kind of mashup of the sort of Greco-Roman themes that were like prevalent within the High Elves, but then there's quite a strong sort of Shaolin vibe to them. Mm-hmm. They're like because they're direct followers of Teclis because he's a god now.
Mm-hmm. Like you do.
Yeah,
is he not always a god?
In his own eyes, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're a deeply spiritual culture. One of the things that I think is quite interesting is that they found a way to imprison their passions and desires, and they wear them in jewels on their person, which is quite
wow.
Yeah,
right.
It's quite an
interesting. So they can just shelf that if they want to.
Well, presumably it goes wrong in some way, right? Because
yes, kind of like a. Well, I don't see how this could backfire on us.
Yeah, I mean, it always these things invariably do, right? Like whenever someone in fiction tries to interfere with the natural order of things, like Jurassic Park, right? It's Jurassic Park all over again.
Yeah.
So
life finds a way.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting thing though, because I think the general consensus with elves throughout all fiction is that they tend to be one, deeply spiritual, and two, they tend to experience everything with heightened sensation. So they tend to be susceptible to I guess passions is a very like PG-13 way of saying it. But it's like the Eldar, they're more susceptible to like the predations of Slaanesh because of that, and it's quite an interesting iteration for the elves. Is a culture that's trying to remove themselves from that as much as possible.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. It's almost Vulcan.
Yeah, it is a little.
Yeah.
Quite a few people have been complaining about how goofy they look because one of the animals that appears throughout their iconography is the bull, which is quite an unusual one. Like, you don't generally equate that with elves, but
I would have gone eagle or lion, personally.
Yeah, normally. Funnily enough, the animals that fascists tend to go for.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
Yeah. I quite like the look of them. I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of them. I think a lot of people are just happy to have elves that are a little bit more traditional again.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. So, that's quite big news for Age of Sigmar. New armies is always an exciting thing.
Yeah.
Before we go into other news, who have we got in the chat? We've got Charlotte said hello. Hi, Charlotte. Spoke to you before we went live, but hi.
Yeah, I think on my feed it says we've got 3 viewers just now. I can't see the chat just now just because of the way all my desktop's set up. So
it's all right. I'll be your eyes for chat. I'll let you know if there's any activity in there. So before we dive back into House of Danger, what have you been up to over the last week?
Well, I mean, as much as I'm not working at the moment, I've been kept pretty busy looking after the baby. That's like what I've been doing during the day. But I have moved it's just out of shot here. I've moved all of my painting gear out of storage in the spare room and back in here where I've set up my little stream lab. And we're going to be doing, hopefully sometime during the week, a little streamed painting session.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to join in for like a little ride along on that as well.
Yeah.
So like I've been painting Blood Rage, whereas as anyone who's in our Discord can attest to, because I finished the Raven clan and I'm currently working on the Wolf clan. So it's funny. I always think like that the hardest part of painting is starting.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, but now that I've kind of got a couple of finished models under my belt, I'm feeling quite good. I'm quite motivated. So I've got. Show the work in progress on the stream?
Go for it.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Well, we've got. This is the Wolf clan then. So these are more like your classic berserkers. So here we go. Can you see that all right?
Nice. They've got a very strong like 80s Conan type vibe to them.
Well, I noticed with this guy as well, you probably can't see on the webcam, he's got a rat tail coming down. That's it. He's got like a mohawk into a rat tail, which is
nice.
A bold choice. One that, given that he's got a sword and an axe, one that I'm not going to raise with him. Yeah. This guy I find particularly deranged because he's. I haven't got onto painting the metallics yet, but he's got like a helmet with full chainmail over his face, but no top on because the chest isn't important.
No, face should always be your priority, right? What's quite interesting about a lot of the recent Cool Mini or Not games is that the lead artist is Adrian Smith, who was one of the lead artists that did a lot of the early Chaos stuff for Warhammer Fantasy, and I think some of the stuff for 40k as well. But you can see the similarities with some of the Cool Mini or Not minis.
They certainly, the Blood Rage in particular, to me, the minis certainly evoke more of like a sort of 90s era Games Workshop.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know if that's what they were going for, but I really like them. This is my favourite one though. This is the clan leader. and with his little banner there. So I'm happy with how they're looking so far, but as always, they look much better once you finish them. So
yeah, for sure.
And then it's like I'm just working through the clans. I'm kind of saving the monsters till last because they're going to be the fun ones, the really fun ones to paint.
Yeah, always as the sort of centerpiece models.
Yeah. And then I will have a nice fully painted set of Blood Rage and no one to play it with because we'll be locked down.
Oh, well, you can admire them on your shelf.
Yes, I can gaze longingly at them and dream of better times. So yeah, I'll join you on the street. Are we doing it on Thursday? Have we confirmed that?
Not just yet, but I think Thursday's probably most likely.
Well, hopefully I'll be joining you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my. Or I don't know if I'll be able to be. I'll be painting along with you, but I'll be talking shit as I normally do.
So this is what I've been working on. Don't worry, I will be looking to sort out the lighting for painting stream. But what I was when I was thinking about what I could do on the painting stream that would be interesting or helpful to people, I thought a lot of people have got the Mortal Realms magazine and the miniatures from that at the moment. So I'm going to be working through some of that just now.
He's looking really nice so far, man.
So I've gone for a more traditional ghosty type look with the white that's graduating into the sort of ethereal blue, makes him look like he's flickering in and out of reality. So I'll be painting some more of my chain rasp boards and hopefully can impart some tips and things to people who would like them.
And you're the better person for that than me. I basically just slap on contrast paint, like just like. Although I'm really impressed with the black now. The black hides that have done, like the wolf pelts. I think that looks pretty good with minimal effort. So.
The great thing about the contrast paints, you can just use them as block colours if you want. Or the other thing is that they do work really well for blending and things like that if you want to get a bit fancy, but it's essentially a base colour and a shade in one layer.
Yeah, and I find it quite useful because I'm not trying to do anything fancy with my painting. I just want them to look nice on a tabletop. So they're great for that. Anyway, shall we get into the House of Danger?
So previously on the House of Danger, our inspector Josh Hartley PPI, I think was what you went with.
Psychic private investigator.
Yeah,
that's what it stands for.
Well, I mean, first of all, he managed to kill himself, I think, 3 times.
Well, no, twice. Only twice.
Only twice. Forgive me.
Only 2 deaths. Well, just going back to the beginning. So I've been having these bad dreams.
Yep.
There's a vision on the back of that little scale you've got there, which I'm not allowed to look at again, am I?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It'll tell me if you're allowed to look at it again because we're in a new chapter.
Do you think it might be worth showing that again for the benefit of our viewers who didn't watch the last episode?
We'll show the viewers. There you go.
Consequently, me. Yeah. Yay! This works.
So this is the vision that Josh had.
So cunning.
Absolutely mental. There's a lot of. Do you remember much of the vision?
So there was a pool in the middle with a saber.
Yeah.
Coming out. We'll get to a moment about what I've picked up, but there was also, if I remember correctly, there was like a block of ice. It's a pile of rubbish,
Yeah.
There's a frog right in the foreground.
Yeah, like a little copper frog.
Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, like the ceiling was like a sort of netting.
Uh-huh.
And there was some dude on the other side of it.
Yeah, he's kind of fogged out.
So, yeah, I remember a fair bit of it actually. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so
it basically looks like a prog rock album cover. The Dream, doesn't it?
Oh, I would listen. I would listen to that album in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
That looks awesome. But yeah, so I've been having this weird vision. I wake up from one of these other bad dreams to hear the phone ringing. When I pick it up, there's like a sort of weak sounding man on the other end going, "Help."
Yeah.
So naturally, like, I go to the police, describe the house that I've been seeing in this dream, and they immediately identify it as the Marsden house.
Yeah.
Right?
And he whips out like a file he's got on the Marsden house,
Mm-hmm.
and the phone number that's on the file matches the phone number that you managed to trace.
Yeah, from one. Was it 141? The dial back thing.
I mean, I don't think you used that, but.
Bye. So by the way, I go to the mansion. The police don't send any help with me. They're just like, Chief, do you think we should maybe send a car with him? And he's like, nah, Josh has this.
Yeah.
Josh has got it.
Maybe it's just because I've been watching The Simpsons, but I just imagine it's Chief Wiggum that sent you up there, you know.
That'll be fine. So I get there. I managed to successfully get into the grounds of the residence. There were some statues which I've retrieved this saber from.
Because there was the Civil War statue, and the fella astride the horse featured in the statue was a such and such Marsden. I forget his name, but basically,
He was a Union general.
Yeah, it looks important to note, not racist. So it does look as though this Marsden family were or are quite prolific.
Mm.
We don't know anything about the family other than the patriarch was at one point a Union general.
So not wanting to cover off too much of the details, because there is a whole episode of us just going through chapter 1, but I do die twice. Once at the jaws of a pack of Doberman.
Yeah.
And another time getting buried alive trying to retrieve a shiny thing from an open grave. In hindsight, that was a bad decision.
Yeah.
But we are now at the door. We've made it to the front door.
So I think we'll quickly talk about your inventory before we jump back in. You have your cavalry saver currently as your challenge booster. Mm-hmm. You still have your pocket knife. You still have a bottle of water, which can be used at any time to lower the danger meter by 3.
That's what water does.
Yeah. You have a truck key. There's been no mention of what vehicle this is for, other than it is a truck, which I think you found in an unlocked lockbox. It's a bit ominous. You've got the large wooden dowel that led you through the secret passage in the sarcophagus that went to nowhere.
Yes.
And you have a whirring metal sphere, which I think you found in the pool.
I did, yeah. That's probably the most important item I found, but we're not going to know what it is.
I think, like we'd said by the end of the last stream, is that it seems to be that you really need to follow the premonitions in this. It doesn't seem quite as random as some other choose your own adventure.
Speaking of which, I have had another vision. Haven't I? We've got that there, haven't we? I can look at that freely, can't I?
Yeah, I mean, like that. You have that on you.
So what am I looking at there?
It looks kind of like it looks sort of like a doorpost. It's kind of warped, and it looks as though there's some kind of switch to the right there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of light leaking out through the keyhole. It looks as though that's not a switch. That is that's actually the door mechanism. So it's a door that's opening.
Yeah. Well, we will find out more in good time. So, guys in chat, by the way, if you've got any suggestions, feel free to chip in. Charlotte is kindly informed us there's a 3-minute delay between chat and recording.
Yeah.
I'll know that I've made a mistake. So if it's not already apparent, so just chime in and we'll do our best to respond accordingly.
I'm gonna quickly explain how the actual mechanics of the game work quickly, just for people that didn't see last time. So every so often, Josh will be asked to make a challenge roll. We're working by an honour system. Josh is rolling the D6 dice at his end for the challenges. Whenever he undertakes a challenge, he has to equal or exceed the number on the danger meter. He can use items to boost his score. So, for instance, the cavalry saber here, if ever he gets into a fight, gives him a 2-point boost to his challenges. So he can tip the odds in his favour a little bit. There'll be certain... sometimes if you fail a challenge or something nasty happens to you, you will have to put the danger meter up. And if it goes all the way to the top, he actually loses some of his psychic ability.
I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that danger meter right now. I'm wondering if it might be wise for me to take a swig of this water before we go in.
I don't think you get an option to swig. I think you just neck it.
just like pour water all over my face. This is lowering the danger.
Don't do that again.
Maybe I'm gonna I'll save it.
Okay.
I'll save it.
Yep.
So let's go. Let's do this.
Just quickly to explain the psychic scale as well. There'll be certain points in the story where if Josh's psychic levels at a certain stage, he can get access to different options in resolving intersections of the story. He can accrue clues from this deck here. Sometimes they're items, sometimes they're premonitions, sometimes they're just story points. And we've got the little deck of cards here, which is the story cards, and that is what I'll be reading from.
All right.
So we are at the threshold of the Marsden residence, and we will now begin.
Oh, nice ominous voice.
Yeah.
Right. Let's do this.
Okay. You've made it. You're inside the Marsden house, the cursed edifice that has haunted your nightmares for weeks. Your trek through the mansion's grounds has left you with far more questions than answers. That is very true. To the point where you have to wonder if the smart move would be to turn around right now and forget you ever came to this infernal place.
I mean, probably that.
Yeah. You're no quitter, though. You're an aspiring detective.
This author doesn't know me very well.
You're an aspiring detective and psychic investigator. You won't give up this case until you find out what a spooky futuristic mansion you'd never seen before has somehow found its way into your dreams. And why you got a call from the house this morning. You're standing in a grand foyer. Its modern decor is elegant in its minimalism. Suddenly, a man in a delivery uniform bursts through a set of tall double doors screaming, "Help! Help! They're after me!" The man cries. He rushes towards you, but suddenly drops to the ground as if he's been hit by an invisible hammer. You dash to his side and hear his breath coming in short gasps that sound almost like sobs. He gives a terrible shriek and lies still. This man has been frightened to death, you think.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Don't I guess? Yeah, I mean he's had a cardiac arrest. Possibly?
Cardiac arrest. Yeah. Let's go to the logical thing of he's had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Rather than something scared him to death.
Yeah.
But I mean, violin playing chimpanzees to carry on.
Just then, he inhales sharply, jumps to his feet, and bolt past you out of the house. There you go. Wasn't a cardiac arrest. You breathe a deep sigh of relief. So not quite death. Something falls from his clothing as he makes his exit, and it hits the floor, tinkling.
Oh.
You kneel down to inspect the object and discover that it's a small dart, kind that might have come from a blowgun. Whatever this man was afraid of, his fear seems to have been justified. Just how dangerous is this house? As your thoughts swirl, a loud buzzing noise erupts from somewhere beneath your feet, shaking the floor. The noise is so loud it drowns out the gathering storm outside. Just as quickly as it came, the noise stops. Sure sounds like something weird is happening beneath the manor. You're willing to bet that whatever is happening in this place, the answers await you down there. Draw clue 57 to discover your goal.
Okay.
Find access to the basement.
Right.
There you go.
Right. Okay. Easy.
You don't see any way to a lower level from the foyer. Rather, a sweeping stairway leads upstairs, while the double doors that the frightened man ran through head off to your right, and a smaller door, slightly ajar, leads in the opposite direction. If you wish to take the stairs to the second floor, go to story card 39. If you wish to go through the double doors, go to story card 51, or you can choose to walk through a smaller door.
So my options are go upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
go through the double door, and there's a regular sized door.
Yeah. So presumably the double doors will lead to like a dining room or something like that. Some kind of reception room for a house of this size.
Well, I'm going to follow where that guy went because he seemed panicking, but he didn't leave the house, so he's presumably gone somewhere. So let's try and catch up with him.
Okay. So you're going through double doors. Yeah.
He went through the double doors, right?
I believe he did.
Okay.
Yep. So 51. You enter a formal dining room decorated in a modern style. The walls are a deep, moody grey, and the table and chairs are lacquered, glossy black. A glass vase containing limp, long-dead flowers sits in the centre of the table. Around the table sit 4 men. Their skin and uniforms are all shades of shimmering white and blue, and a wispy aura wafts off of them like smoke. They're dressed in Civil War era Union soldier uniforms and are talking as if telling stories around a campfire.
Okay, I'm immediately regretting this decision, but carry on.
One has his feet propped up on the table. They don't seem to be aware of your presence. You notice a wooden door that is rattling as if something behind it is trying to escape. Beams of blue light shoot out of the keyhole and the wooden slats of the door.
Oh, hold on, we've seen that.
There's also a narrow swinging door at the end of the dining room that probably leads to the kitchen.
Okay.
So, as a free action, if you're at level 2 or higher of the psychic scale, and you want to draw closer, you can listen to the stories of the Union soldiers.
Yeah, let's listen to the Union soldiers first of all. But do you need to read me the other options first, or should we just go listen to them?
You can quietly open the rattling wood door with the blue light, or you can sneak past the men and go into the kitchen.
Okay, I'm going to listen to their stories.
You creep closer and overhear bits and pieces of conversation. One ghost mentions barely surviving a savage attack and locking the dangerous one in the secret passage between the kitchen and the master bedroom.
Okay.
So I think
I need to make a mental note of that. Passage between the kitchen and the master bedroom. Something's been locked in there.
And the other option that you have just now is to go into the kitchen, so presumably that's maybe not a good idea.
Well, I think given that I've had a vision of the door that's rattling with the light coming through it, I think I'd prefer. Well, sorry, was there anything else about their stories?
No, that's all it says. That one ghost mentions surviving a savage attack.
Okay. Yeah, let's not go there. Well, let's try the rattling door.
Okay. You open the rattling door to reveal an impossibly long passage, slightly lit with small beams of blue light. A chill runs through your veins as an apparition materialises in the distance.
Ooh.
The ghost wears a tattered robe, and his skin appears badly burned. One of his eyes is missing, while the other darts around nervously. He walks straight towards you, brandishing a sword in one hand. You try to run, but your legs refuse to cooperate. You're frozen in place. The spirit continues to approach you. He advances calmly, slowly moving closer and closer until he's finally upon you. You feel intense pain, and then nothing.
Alright.
At the end, move back one space in the psychic scale and return to
Well,
story
that's bullshit. I'm sorry. We had a vision of that door.
Maybe it wasn't that door.
How many doors are there going to be with blue lights coming out of them? Ah,
It's that
I've been robbed.
first death of the night.
Yeah, that didn't take long. Jesus Christ.
So I take it we're going to the kitchen now.
I guess we are.
Oops.
I believe that. I'm not trusting any of this vision shit anymore.
So it's a pretty precarious position to be in as a psychic detective, is it not?
Is this good or awful? Who knows?
Let's flip a coin.
Yeah.
The kitchen looks a bit drab compared to what you've seen of the rest of the house. A large blue refrigerator stands lonely against one wall, a heavy chain wrapped around it. Holding it closed, the opposite wall is dominated by tall cupboards. Black and white checkered tile covers the countertops and the floors, and a butcher's block on the counter is stained a deep crimson from heavy use. On the far side of the room, there's a small door that appears to lead to a wine cellar. And I am just going to quickly let the cat in the room because he's going to be clawing at that door for ages if I don't.
Sylvester. So how are we all doing in chat? You think I've done alright so far? We're like 2 choices in and I've got myself murdered already. Still call bullshit on it.
Right, we've got some optional challenges for you now.
Oh right, I love these.
You can choose to search the cupboards. If you win, you draw a clue. If you lose, you raise the danger meter by 1. Or you can choose to try and open the fridge. And again, you can draw a clue, and if you lose, you raise the danger meter. You do have a wooden dowel that would help you to open the fridge.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Iona's just chimed in. Good work at Speedy Death. Yeah, thanks, Iona. Thanks.
Full of encouragement, that one.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, are any of them ones that I can only try once?
Both of them are.
Right, well, I
You do have your bottle of water. You could lower the danger meter if you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I think it improves my odds quite significantly.
So
yeah, let's check. Iona says check out the fridge as well. So like, let's chug some water.
Josh Hartley,
Cover
PPI,
ourselves in water.
downs his water like Popeye, smashing down a can of spinach. Picks up his large wooden dill.
Yeah. So do I lose the water? Well, hold on. You lowering that danger meter?
Yeah, I lowered it already.
See that? Sorry, the video's on a delay. That's
Yeah. No,
I
I've
thought
lowered it.
you were doing me an injustice there.
No, I've lowered it. So it's down to 4, but it's going to stay at 4 for the next 2 bumps. So you should be okay for a little while. And we are going to try and open the fridge. So you've got a 2-point bonus to this. So frankly, if you fail this, you only get yourself to blame.
I'm rolling.
He's rolling.
Lucky Frog.
Yeah.
Gaming podcast dice.
You rolled a 1, didn't you?
Yep.
Oh well, you can still search the cupboards if you want.
God fucking damn it. Sure, let's have a look in the cupboards instead.
Okay, roll a dice for me, please.
A 6!
Hey!
Hey! What do I find in the cupboards?
A tin of beans.
Oh, great.
This is a clue. I was like, that does not make any sense right now. Clue 34.
I'm just not allowed to use the Unlucky Frog gaming dice when I'm playing a game against Tom because he believes that they roll 6s more. But if Tom's not involved, I'm fine.
The cupboards are entirely empty, but the back of one of them opens to reveal a secret passage and a stairway. Place this new optional story choice at the bottom of story card 54. The option...
I don't want to go there. He's locked something in there. I don't want to go in there.
So you can choose to enter the wine cellar or follow the secret passage.
Right, well, we know from the ghosts that something horrible's in the secret passage, right? Hi, Tom. I don't want to go in the secret passage. You're not right.
You're just going to go...
Evidently not right. I rolled a 1, so...
You rolled a 1 and then a 6, to be fair, so...
Yeah, so it's, cumulative variance is balanced out. That's how probability works. I'm not going in the secret passage. No way. No.
So you're going to the wine cellar to get drunk and then
have
die?
Some wine. Yeah, let's go to the wine cellar.
Cool. To the wine cellar. What kind of wine do you think they have in this house?
I think it's very expensive wine that tastes awful.
But everyone pretends that it's wonderful. Yeah.
I don't know about you, man, but see, I'm all right with red wine, but see, white wine. I don't know. When you were a kid, did your mum and dad let you have a sip of their wine at dinner? And well,
I think my dad only really. I say my dad started drinking again as if he's like a pure jakey, but he only really started having a wee tipple again when we were a bit older. So there wasn't really ever any alcohol in the house.
Well, occasionally, my mum and dad would let me have a sip of wine, and see, when I was a kid, if it was white wine, I would do this. Right?
Yeah.
I still do that as an adult, with white wine. I don't know what it is. Just, yeah.
The first time I can recall having alcohol was, I think I was either 14 or 15, and we'd all been left alone at my mate Tony's house. and his dad had loads of Stella Artois in the garage.
All right.
So I was the. I mean, I'm going to say the bravest of my friends. I mean, Reed's stupid, the most stupid of the friends. So I decided to try one, and being teenagers, that like they were all sort of standing around me waiting to observe how I reacted to it. So I opened it up, knocked it back, and I just spat it all over the garage. And then Tony went off his nut because I'd spat all over his garage.
Oh,
so
fun times.
Yeah,
Fun
great.
times.
So I straight back to the cola after that. Was not
that's
keen,
fair.
and have never acquired the taste, to be honest, either.
I, on the other hand, but that's a story for another night. Let's press on to the wine cellar.
Yeah. Josh has an uncultured palate.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
The door to the wine cellar is covered with a leather overlay that is embossed with grapevine patterns. Someone here must really like their wine. You push open the door into a pitch black room and hear odd noises coming from some unseen machine in the distance. This space might be bigger than you thought. As you try to find a light switch, you discover a ladder on your left and a door to your right. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, you can make out a bomb shelter sticker on the door and a small storage compartment next to the sheltered door, about as tall as your knee.
Okay.
So you have a free action here. If you'd like to get down on your hands and knees and root around in the storage compartment, you may do so.
Well, I don't see what could possibly go wrong with that, so let's give that a go.
Okay. I mean, I think you're probably going to put your hand in there, get bitten by a rat, contract Wells disease, and then just die in this wine cellar.
I'm going to get another...
Alone and afraid.
Ah, wonderful.
Oh! You found some climbing boots.
Hey! Alright!
Look at these things.
No idea whether they will come in handy, but...
You'll be able to climb like a squirrel wearing these boots. There you go.
So what do they do? What do they do for me in terms of game?
They give you a bonus to climbing challenges.
Okay. Don't believe I've had... Oh no, I have had one right at the
gazebo.
start.
Gazebo.
Yeah, and the gazebo as well. Right, okay. Alright.
Would you like to climb the ladder or go to the bomb shelter?
Fuck it, let's go to the bomb shelter.
Okay. You fumble for a light switch. There is nothing on the walls but a tiny little chain brushes against your cheek as you cross the room, so you pull on it. The room floods with light. This place is well stocked. Row upon row of toilet... No, I'm just kidding. Bottles of water, stacks of canned foods, crates of tools, even boxes labelled entertainment. Definitely porn. This is everything you need to survive for weeks. The only thing out...
all the porn a man in the 1980s could consume.
But none of them have been rewound. The only thing out of place... The only thing out of place is a cabinet painted purple with orange trim. I think the guy was definitely on something when he picked those colours. Across the room is an impressive metal door. Above the door is a hole in the ceiling which doesn't seem right, given that this place is supposed to be totally secure. And then there's a little picture there that will show up for you